In Budget 2026-27, this budget is being presented at a time when our nation stands at a crucial juncture of opportunity and responsibilities. Guided by the principles of inclusive growth, fiscal prudence, and sustainable development, our government remains committed to the empowering the poor, strengthening the middle class, supporting farmers, promoting entrepreneurs, innovation, and human capital. We seek to build an economy that is resilient, competitive, and prepared for the future. Honorable members, this budget is not merely a statement, but it is a roadmap for the progress of 140 crore Indians. With these words, I present the union budget for the consideration of this house. As you guys all know, our farmers are the backbone of the nation and crucial role they play for the nation. So, our government has provided several help to the farmers, but still they were facing many kind of issues. They are facing high dependence on loans, difficulty in getting bank loans, dependence on money lenders, low and uncertain income, crop failure and climate risk, and much more. So, what our government has provided, our government, the Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, saw its budgetary allocation rise to above 1.27 lakh crores to 1.98 lakh crores in the upcoming year. Increased focus we are having on our rural and farm support. Government is planning higher spending on rural development and agriculture. So I propose to increase funding for the new Vikasit Bharat and which is around 88,000 crores to approx 1.51 lakh crores has been discussed and which will directly help the farmers which are the backbone of our nation. Further, I would like to call our Ministry of Women Empowerment and Child Safety, which will further discuss the other problems. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, this budget recognizes that women's safety and empowerment are not welfare issues but core drivers of economic growth and social stability of a country. Keeping this in mind, 35,000 crore is allocated in the Union Budget 26-27 to the Ministry of Women Empowerment. This indicates an increase of 30% from the 26,889 crores allocated in the previous year. Our first focus will be on girls' safety. We propose zones and time periods will be identified in advance, enabling predictive policy and focused night patrols. Secondly, we will strengthen safe mobility. All public transports operating after evening hours will be GPS tracked, equipped with CCTV and panic buttons, and strictly monitored. Women only night transport services will be expanded in urban and industrial areas to ensure that safety never limits employment opportunities. Thirdly, we propose time bound justice mechanisms. Dedicated fast track courts and investigation units will ensure that crimes against women are handled within fixed timelines, restoring the trust in the justice system and creating real deterrences. Moving on to women empowerment, we will also introduce a re-entry workforce program for women returning after career breaks, providing skill upgrades, paid internships, and tax incentives to employers who hire and retain them. We will also promote women-only startup credit lines, which ensures zero collateral loans up to 20 lakh and interest subsidy for 5 years for women entrepreneurs. In conclusion, this budget ensures that every woman can move freely, work confidently, and grow independently because a nation cannot progress if half its population is held back by fear and independency. I now hand over the discussion to Ms. Kashish, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Our ministry works with one clear purpose to ensure that every family, whether BPL or middle class, lives with the dignity, security, and opportunity. For our BPL families, our focus is on basic necessities, access to food, healthcare, education, and employment. We are strengthening welfare delivery so that support reaches the right people at the right time without delays or leakages. But our goal is not permanent dependence, our goal is empowerment. At the same time, we recognize the challenges faced by our middle class families, that is, rising living costs, education expenses, healthcare needs. Our ministry is committed to improving public services, affordable housing, social security to reduce this burden. So, no tax up to the income of 12 lakh rupees. Since India is a consumption based country, our government has also recently reduced the GST so that more and more people get good at affordable rates. So now, moving ahead, I would like to invite the Education and Employment Minister.
Education and employment are two sides of same coin. Our goal is to be an educated and employed nation. We propose a budget of 1.50 lakh crores, which was earlier only 1 lakh 28,650 crores, in which we we established digital learning institution in rural areas for increase for increasing education. With this, we also setting up an AI center of excellence with a budget of 500 crore as the world is innovating day by day. For labor and employment, we propose a budget of 35,500 crores in which we support MSMEs recognized entity as MSMEs are the best in creating employment. With this modern job portals, career guidance services, we also provided by setting up skill development and employability program centers. With this, I would like to invite our Defense Ministry.
Honorable Speaker and all other members of the Parliament, as we all know, nowadays the defense sector is highly sensitive sector due to its geopolitical issues around the world. Focusing on the current global scenarios, we are proposing a new budget allocation to address our border security and military modernization. We are proposing a budget of 7.5 lakh crores for 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 financial year 2026-27, comparing to our previous year 2024-25-26, a budget of 6.81 lakh crores, which is roughly a growth of 10 to 12% comparing to the previous year. We will use this budget for the purpose of purchase of new fighter planes, submarines, drones, and advanced missile systems. We are also funding DRDO and other private startups for further research and development of new projects like Tejas MK2, Project Joravar, and Netra MK1A. Our motto is Atmanirbharta se Sashaktigaran. Now over to our. Now I would like to invite our Commerce and Trade Ministry.
Honorable Speaker, as we all know, foreign direct investments are plays a keen important role in the economic growth of the country. So, in order to attract suitable, sustainable, and long-term FDIs, we will liberalize the FDI limits in the high growth sectors such as renewable energy, infrastructure, technology, and startups. And we will also introduce single window clearance for all the FDI approvals and improve the ease of doing business and trade infrastructure. And we will also provide the transparent tax policies in order to gain the confidence of the investors. Skill development, we will also conduct skill development programs aligned with the foreign direct investments. This will lead to an increase in the higher capital inflow, employment generation, tech transfer and innovations, and thereby increasing the GDP of the country. And we will also enhance the budget allocation export or promotional schemes, and we will also and digitalization of the custom procedures in order to reduce the clearance time.